Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, how are we doing today? My name is Brendan Reviews, and guys, welcome to the second episode of my record collection. So, it's been a while since I did this one. I did a little bit of thinking over because the very first episode didn't really get a whole lot of views, and I was thinking to myself, how can I try to actually get a formula that, might work a little bit better than just me sitting down and simply talking track by track. And I thought about if I really wanted to talk track by track in a more engaging way, how about that? So guys, that's what we're doing today. We are going to be ranking motherfucking Nectar by Joji. All of his tracks, all 18 of them on this wonderful little bad boy right behind me. And just before we even start, I just want to go ahead and give a quick review of just the album as a whole. I think the album as a whole is pretty solid the whole way through. Definitely Joji's best project without a date, his most versatile, it shows his most range, shows his best maturity, and it shows that he is still able to grasp an audience despite his controversial change up from his YouTube days to who he is now. And this is where I think he finally fully comes into his own, and he's able to leave Filthy Frank in the past and truly become Joji. So guys, without further ado, let's just go ahead and hop into track 18. So at track 18, we have freaking High Hopes with Omar Apollo. This song sucks, man. This song is absolutely terrible. This song is an absolute drudge to get through, and the really bland ass chorus is so just unapologetically lazy, in my opinion. And I really hate this song. This is the one song I have chosen never to come back to. I do not like this song, didn't like it when it first came out, and you'll see this quite a bit with some of the tracks. I either didn't like them when I first heard them, and now I absolutely love them, or I loved them when I first heard it, but now they're not as good as they once used to be. But with this one, I hated it from the beginning, and I still don't like it to this very day. So, sorry for any of you High Hopes fans with high hopes that High Hopes was going to be up on the high ranking. So guys, moving on to track 17. Coming in at track 17 is Reanimator. Now, Reanimator has a pretty badass opening. I won't deny that. It's a pretty cool, moody opening, but it doesn't go anywhere. With the opening like that, you would expect at least a 4.5-5 minute track, but it ends up clocking in at, I believe, just underneath 3 minutes, or right around the 3 minute mark, which is quite ridiculous for this 1.5 to almost 2 minute opening. And I really am disappointed by this song. It had this really nice intro to it, and I wish that there was more to it, but there just isn't. And to me, it feels unfinished and lazy, and that's why it comes in at track number 17. Going at track number 16. This one's going to be a controversial one. Yeah, number 16 is I'll Be Your Man. Fuck, I'm gonna get the hate on this one. So, Your Man, the closer to this whole album. Why do I have it so down on the bottom? And it has to do with two things. One, I think the song just isn't that fine-tuned. I think it's just kind of a lazy thing. I mean, it's more upbeat and it's got a nicer melody than the previous two songs, but I just don't really feel like it closes the album on this really big emotional punch that the rest of the album has kind of been up until this point. Like the track before it, which this goes into my second reason, the track prior to this one, Like You Do, is absolutely fantastic and is one of the best songs on this whole record. And so when you have this one immediately following it, it just doesn't feel all that conclusive. It feels almost like it's leaving you off for something bigger, when in fact, if we were to almost look at this as a concept album, going from Like You Do, if Like You Do were to be the final track in this record, and then going into Glimpse of Us on Smithereens, they would almost seamlessly go together. Whereas with this one, going from Like You Do to Your Man, then to Glimpse of Us, yeah, it doesn't work for me. It just doesn't. And that's why I have it at number 16. Moving into number 15. We can meet, but no more lies at the Orient. Number 15, I have Upgrade, a song that, isn't that bad. I'm now at the point where the songs are like, they're fine, but with this one, it's fine. It's just a fine song. I've listened to it a few times. That's about it. The only time I really have listened to this one is like if I'm just re-listening to the whole album as a whole. Thankfully, it's not a skip. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a skip. It's not like I hear it and I'm like, fuck this song, and I skip it. That's what the bottom 3 songs are for. But with this one, I think it's fine. I can listen to it. I can understand why other people might really like it, but not my particular thing. But yeah, that's really all I have to say on it. Moving on to number 14.
Heavy like a Brinks truck, looking like I'm TikTok.
So TikTok, you might think it's a TikTok related song, like the app, like it's trying to cash in on that. I don't think that's what they were going for, because the song is definitely not, it's very like almost anti-TikTok song. It's just like a nice groovy beat to it. And this is at a point where I decently enjoy most of these songs. I think TikTok is actually like a pretty decent song. It's got a nice like just bass line to it, and I really like the chorus where he goes,
as time keeps slipping away.
And I really like moments like that. I think the melody is much better on this one than even the previous track. And I think we're at the point where the songs are, I would say, at least a 6 out of 10. But TikTok, let's move on. So moving on to number 13.
Mr. Hollywood, won't you come back soon?
Coming at number 13, we have Mr. Hollywood. So Mr. Hollywood, I know, is a fan favorite by some certain groups of Joji fans, and I am here to say it's a decent track, but it's definitely not my favorite. I think the melody isn't the catchiest, but I like a lot of the grooves. I like the way it flows. I like the production for the most part. I just am not a big fan of the melody. Like, I'm not that big a fan of the melody, but I can get the appeal of it, and the production on it is really good throughout the whole track. And yeah, it's a fine song. It's a decent song. I definitely see the appeal of it. Moving on to number 12. Coming in at number 12, we have Nitrous. So Nitrous is a very quirky beat. It's a quirky beat, but I actually really enjoy the beat. I think the beat is pretty like subdued, laid back. It's a very easy listen to, and I don't mind it. I genuinely just don't mind the song. I think the song is a perfect 6 out of 10. It's above average. It's just, it's good. It's a fine, good song. Yep. Moving on to number 11. Moving into number 11, now we're in the songs that I would say are definitely good. I actually really like Afterthought, and I really think Afterthought has a very nice, sweet melody, and I really like that opening line. And I really like just the way it progresses throughout the thing. I think, what's her fucking name? Female feature on this song is also solid. Very, very good at singing, and I think is a very nice touch to the song as a whole, and I think rounds it out pretty completely. And yeah, moving on to number 10.
Speed it up, slow it down.
Modus is the second track on the whole record, and I think is a decent one overall. I think it's perfectly at 10. I think it lands smack dab in the middle. Like, it's a decent track. It's not as great as some of the others, but it's still decent, and I really like the beginning half of it, and then I really love the second half. I love how the second half just builds and builds and builds and builds and builds and gets more epic as it goes along, and I love Joji's melody for it. It feels more epic as it goes along, and that's probably the biggest praise I can give this song in particular, is just the way it progresses, because as it progresses, it gets louder, and you feel the weight of all the violins, the strings, the synths, and all that stuff, and Joji's voice sounds like it's coming from a place of like just like a very emotive place, and I really like that. I really like this track as a whole. I would say it's a solid 7 out of 10, and yeah.
Give me love, give me love.
Coming in at number 9 is Gimme Love, which is one of the singles that came out for this record, and I think Gimme Love, though I think the hook is kind of lazy, I do enjoy it. Stupid, but it gets stuck in my head. I won't deny it. Yeah, I kind of like it. But the main thing that I like is the second half of the song, where the beat almost like drops out and becomes this piano ballad that where Joji sounds like he's coming from like the heavens. He sounds like he is singing his ass off. He sounds like an angel. He sounds really good on this song. And I think it's a really good single for the record. I think it displays what the record was trying to do, and that was like, it was supposed to be coming from a more emotive and sensitive state, and having that versatility, having that expression, having that just progression for Joji as a whole in his artistry. And I think, yeah, this is a really good example of that. Moving on to number 8.
Blame it on me, you can blame it on me. Never turn back when I'm going full speed.
Coming in at number 8 is 777. So I don't really hear that many people praise this song. I don't understand why, because the production on it, especially in the bridge prior to the chorus, is fucking amazing. Just the in the background, you got that. It sounds so good. And then I like a lot of the chorus, man. I like a lot of the verses, man. I think it's just an overall catchy song, very easy to listen to, light on the ears. The only thing I would say is I can definitely tell it's like kind of a ripoff of Blinding Lights by The Weeknd, just because in terms of like just the way he goes ooh with the chorus and whatever. But yeah, that's really all I have to say. I mean, it's a good song, easy to listen to, and that's why it comes out at number 8. Coming in at number 7.
I'm a pretty boy living on the west side.
Fucking Pretty Boy. All right, now we're at the songs where I think they're great. Pretty Boy. Oh, motherfucking Pretty Boy. This song is so catchy. Yeah, Lil Yachty's feature on this one is actually pretty fucking good. I love just the heavy bass in the background. I love how distorted it is. I love the auto-tune, surprisingly, which is something I never thought I'd say. I just love the way it sounds, man. It is a very clear, clean cut sounding song, and like, I just love it, man. Absolutely love it. So fucking catchy. That's number 7. Coming in at number 6.
The devil came back, he's dancing in your past.
This one is such a sleeper hit in my opinion. Fuck, it is without a doubt actually it might be like one of the 3 songs I actually come to the most. Even though I wouldn't say this song is top 5, I would say it's probably one of the songs off of this record I come to the most to re-listen to. Just, I find it so moody. It's dark, and just, I love the melody of it.
The devil came back, he's dancing in your past.
And I just love that melody. It's such a simple, easy one to like just go along with. The only thing I wish I'd say is I wish it had more progression in the track. I wish that it built up a little bit more as the track went along, but you know, I'm very okay with what it is right now. And that's why I'd say it's a 8 out of 10. You know, it's a pretty good track, really good track. So guys, moving on to number 5. Coming in at number 5 is Sanctuary. Now we're at the point where these songs are basically 9s and 10s out of 10s. Honestly, Sanctuary is an awesome song, and this is actually an example of a song I didn't like when I first heard it. But as time has gone on, I have grown to greatly appreciate the song. It is such a really good, monumental track for Joji. It sounds awesome the whole way through. Fucking heavy. The melodies are good. The production is good. And I'm like, man, it is honestly one of the best tracks off of this record. It is easily a top 5 for I think most people. That's why I have it at number 5, is genuinely it's at the point where I'm like, this is like a really solid record. When I first heard this track, I was like, you know, I'm not a big fan of the melody, but now when I hear it, I'm like, man, that melody, the production, Joji's voice, everything about it is spot on. If you guys are gonna go to listen to any song off of this record, I'd recommend, honestly, this one or Daylight. Is without a doubt the cleanest and most crispy sounding song on this whole record. It is precise. It sounds clean cut. It is without a doubt the best production on this whole record. It is just awesome to listen to. The production on this is like straight up just out of this world. Diplo, who I think is the one who did the production, did a fantastic fucking job, and Joji sounds awesome on the chorus. I think that the production, the progression of the song is really good. The chorus, the way it just builds and builds and builds, and you get these high notes out of Joji that just sound awesome, and I absolutely love this track, and I can't recommend it enough. But moving on to number 3. You is the first track on this record. It really sucks that it's the first track on the fucking record and I like it so much because so many of the other songs don't live up to it, but it sets a standard. It sets a standard for the rest of the record, and when it manages to hit this standard, which I'd say Daylight and Sanctuary do hit that standard, it just manages to make me feel that much more like happy about talking about this record because it makes me feel more conclusive. It makes me feel like the record is more well-rounded and all that stuff. Even if I'm saying like half of these tracks are maybe 6 or 7s out of 10s, I would still say that overall it's a very well-rounded record just because of the way You sets a standard and how other songs are able to sometimes match that standard or with the next two even surpass that standard. And I absolutely think You is a powerful song. I would say You is probably the slow dancing in the dark of Nectar. And I would say You sets the standard for the record and definitely leaves you off on a very good first impression and will definitely make you want to listen to the rest of the record going forward. And guys, with this one, comes as no shock what my next pick is. And coming in at number 2 is Like You Do, in my opinion, should have been the fucking closer to the record. Absolutely should have been the closer to the record. Your man does not need to be here with Like You Do. Like You Do is an emotional song. Absolutely heartfelt. It is a tearjerker even if you can't relate to it. If you can't, even if you've never had a significant other, you can relate to this song. Just that feeling of wanting to be loved and knowing that somebody else could potentially give it to you and that somebody else gives it to you better than anyone else ever could. It just hurts. It hurts listening to this song, but it is a very emotive song. It's a good song. I love listening to it. It's a very, very, very impactful song. That's why I think Like You Do should have been the closer for the record and would have made this record feel so much more conclusive.
Then fuck you, your man. God damn it.
Moving into number 1, which is easily, without a doubt, the best fucking song on this record, and that is Run. Holy shit, man. I didn't think Joji had this type of star power in him. I thought, when I first heard Run as a single, I almost didn't believe it. I was like, this is the same dude who made fucking Pink Season. This is the same fucking dude that made Pink Season, and he's sitting over here making these awesome, just fucking emotive ballads that are so awesome to listen to. You could jam out to them as much as you could just sit back and vibe with it, as much as you could have your heart crushed by it. This is a song all about two people who can't commit to each other, who are always running away from each other's problems. Joji wants to run away from his girlfriend for all the problems that she brings to the table, and she wants to run away from him for all the stuff that he's bringing. All of their baggage is forcing them to run away from each other. It's all about the falling out of this relationship and whatever, and I think that the song just is earth-shattering. It's honestly an earth-shattering song in terms of lyrics and production. The production is just so heavy and you feel the weight. You feel the guitar riffs. The guitar solo in this song is awesome too. I love Joji's lyrics. I love the chorus. It is without a doubt the most powerful song on this record and is a very good listen to. Easily a top 5 best Joji song ever made. So as a whole, as you can see, I definitely have a few tracks I don't like. But for the most part, I'd say the tracks range from being decent to freaking amazing. And I would say that this record displays a very good maturity for Joji. Guys, I absolutely love this record. I would say the record as a whole, out of 10, I would give probably an 8. I would give it an 8.5 out of 10. I think it's a very solid record. It's a great record. And guys, can't recommend it enough. Anyways, thank you for watching. My name is Brendan Reviews, and I hope you guys have a great day, evening, night, whatever the fuck time you guys are watching this in. I'll see you all next time.